Hi, this is Tom with Culture Chat. So today I want to talk about you being at a theater as a visiting director, a visiting artist, a visiting anything, even if it's in the next town, and having clear communication. Now, I know a lot of theaters are busy, or operas or ballets and so forth, and you think that your visiting person will know exactly what you're talking about because in your mind as a theater, as a space, as an administrator, you believe that the way you do things is the way everyone does things, but everyone is slightly different. As a visiting director, sometimes I got the keys. I was expected to lock up after everyone left. That's fine. Didn't know that. That's never happened to me again, which is, I guess, as it should be. My stage manager usually has the keys, that kind of thing. But if the stage manager has gotten into a car accident, which happened, none of us could have rehearsal. So someone should have been a backup, that kind of thing. There are all different kinds of things in different theaters about the way things are done, which bathrooms you should use, how they feel you should act with the cast and the crew. There was one place I worked who didn't feel like I should be talking to the costume designer, that the costume designer should be making all their choices independently of the director, which meant that their designs were nothing like the character we were creating. I've talked about this in other videos. I don't like the stodgy crone old lady. I like the old lady who's lots more fun, you know. Um, so her costumes were not going with what we were performing. Um, Also, as a visiting person, I think you need to know different people. Now, a lot of directors, when they're in rehearsal, they go on a break and they hang out with the actors, which inevitably gets you lots of questions about what you're doing in the next part of rehearsal from the actors, and you don't really get a break. Go have your coffee, your scone, whatever, with the tech people. See what they have to say. They also will inform you more about how that theater works and what is expected of you. And the number one thing I always tell the tech people, after learning their names especially, is to say, now, here's who I am. And one of my main things I say is, I don't want to go over budget. If you get a hint, inkling that we're going over budget for something, or I'm asking for something they can't provide, and they're just saying yes, yes, yes to everything I'm saying, tell me. I never want to go over budget. I never want to be that person who has that reputation. You're shooting yourself in the foot, especially these days with the economic downturn in theaters globally. You don't want to be going over budget. But sometimes people can just treat directors, especially visiting ones, or visiting musicians, or visiting anything, as just say yes to them, don't get involved in the conversation. They feel like you've been briefed on what the budget is, what the limits are, everything. And maybe you haven't because your theater hasn't told you about the way they do things, etc. Often in musicals, you feel like there might be the benefit of an extra instrument. Should we have a French horn instead of a trombone? Okay, let's have both. Which you didn't know, they're already at maximum budget for your musical's musicians. Stuff like that. Things that no one has told you, and that in the end will bite you uh, and hurt your reputation because it was never communicated to you. And you were led to believe that in this section that you're asking about, a bigger prop, a better prop, a prettier prop, more musicians, different lighting, etc., fog, anything extra. You felt this had been communicated beforehand about what are my limits. Oh, we'll tell you your limits when they happen. This is a dangerous phrase. Theaters don't tell people that. You have to communicate with them. And you, as a director, a visiting musician, a visiting music director, a visiting choreographer, you have to say, please tell me if we're going too far, if this is too expensive, if we're asking too much, because there's always a solution that is the cheaper version, that is the less taxing version. on the performers, on the musicians, on the dancers, whatever. And why there isn't clear communication about this, I don't know. Now, if you're a visiting director, you have to establish the fact that you are approachable. This is why I'm telling you to have your coffee breaks, your not your lunch, because that's a long time period, your coffee breaks, your whatever, and getting to know the staff by name, because those are the people that will watch out for you. And later on, when you need someone, maybe you're just in the next town over, maybe you're in the next state over, the next county over, the next country over, depending on where you're working, you can call on those people and say, hey, Charlie, I know that you know about lighting or know about music, and I'm wondering what you thought of this. Or can you tell me anything about X, Y, and Z about this other company that maybe is the neighboring company that I would like to work for, and you've worked for them in the past. You don't have to get to know everything about them, and tell them what you're doing. I am getting to know you so that we can have the best working relationship. Now, you're not asking them everything about themselves. You're asking about the role in that theater, maybe how long they've been there, what else they do. Maybe you're a lighting backstage person. Maybe you have backstage lights that have to be manually operated. Maybe they're actually a lighting designer and they're just filling in. Maybe they have ideas about what you can do that the lighting designer doesn't know about. Perhaps your lighting designer is someone who you're just getting to know, virtually. Because some lighting designers, especially when you work in Europe, they're not always there for the bulk of the build. They're just coming in at the end, or they're dictating by watching something on a camera, and they're not with you in the space. So the people that are actually executing those lights, they may know more about your building, the limits of your building, the limits of your proscenium, all that kind of stuff, and on down the line. This is especially important when you are working with the music director, who is also a visiting person, and you're hitting some strange acoustics in your building, which can happen. Why are those flutes sounding so tinny? Why does this sound like that? Why does this voice placed here with the actor singing or speaking, why is it not reaching where we want it to reach? What is going on with the building? The people that work in the building know more than visiting people. And on down the line, if you're visiting at all, even if you're just returning to a theater after many years, 6 months, did something change? Oh yes, we got new soundboards. Did something change? Oh yes, we replaced all of our lighting with LED lighting. Or we've replaced our lighting with movable lighting that now has sound when it moves. Because lighting is not driven by the theater industry, it's driven by the music industry. And they don't care if you hear zzzz as the light moves, but you do in a quiet scene. And now there's new lighting instruments that they're working with, and now you need something to cover that, which you didn't know until you were in tech, and now it's a problem. If you've been doing your build, hanging out with different people from different departments, you will know these things because you're friendly. They will tell you. Okay? Perfect. And then later on, when those people need recommendations, tell other people at the theaters, they were great. They saved me. They were great. They saved me from going over budget. They were great. They're very intelligent and very aware of how the whole building works. I would hire them as lighting designer, sound designer, whatever. I know they're just a tech, low man on the totem pole in the building they're in, but they have talent. I don't know all of their talent, but I know what they did for us and this style of show we did. This is important to make these relationships. Now, these aren't your buddies you send Christmas cards to. They are professional relationships that just take a little bit of time for you, the visiting director, to sort of make the rounds and see who everyone is. And knowing their names, essential. A lot of people don't really remember names. Don't be one of those people. You can. And if you forget their name, speak up, especially if they all have similar names. I worked recently with a Bob and a Bert, and they looked very much alike because they were cousins. And that really messed me up, and I was embarrassed. Though we made a joke out of it. And, I'm the stupid director, I can't tell you apart. Can you wear a bell? silly things like that. Put yourself in that place. The more easy, honest communications you have with the theater, with the staff, with your actors, hey, we're in the men's room. I don't want to talk to you, actor, about your performance in that last scene. Please stop. Yeah, that's happened. Isn't that awful? I know some actresses are like, oh, we all talk in the bathroom. A lot of countries, a lot of places, men do not speak in the bathroom to each other. And if they do, it's not about their performance in the last scene in rehearsal. No. Or, hey, I'm on a dinner break and I have to deal with some other stuff. We're building a show. Other stuff comes up for me as the director, the music director, the lighting designer, the visiting person that I have to take care of that was unexpected today. I'd love to talk to you, but I literally have like 3 minutes. Just tell them. Now, I realize a lot of you are watching me from other countries, especially the UK, especially England. Stop it. Stop it. I know that I'm an American in your eyes, but I'm actually a dual citizen. So I'm one of you as well. And you think, oh, all Americans are so forthcoming and extra chatty. I'm there to do a job, and so are you. So don't be reserved and shy and, oh, I can't speak to you. Don't do that. And there's a lot of countries like that. There are other countries who claim to speak English really well, and I'm nattering on, and they've just got a basic command of it, so I have to get the translator. Speak up. Just say what's going on. You presented yourself in one way, there was a mistake, no big deal. No one should be embarrassed. We have a job to do. We're being paid to make this the most incredible show possible, or whatever the show is. All right, that's enough for today. Please like and subscribe. I need subscribers. I'm getting a lot of views, which is fantastic, but I need more subscribers to keep the channel going. All right, thanks for your time. We'll talk again. Bye.